I'd like you to give me 40 minutes of your life today, and I do truly believe that there'll be one thing at least that you will take away that you might think about that will really potentially help you to change as a leader, as a manager, as a parent, as a friend, and also as the best friend to yourself, okay? So what I'd like to do is I'm going to introduce you to my Resilient as Fudge method. Now, there is not free fudge, but if you stay for the whole 40 minutes, you will get, mic not working, oh, I'm back. You might get a QR code for 50% off my book, Resilient as Fudge. So I'm going to take you through the method. I'm also going to make the case that the development of resilience in your people and yourself is absolutely critical to the sustainability of all of your businesses. Now, before we go any further, I know there is beautiful equipment out there. I know there's awesome software. I know that you've talked all day today about processes. But I want to put it to you that the most important thing that you could think about as you leave here today is your people. And when I say your people, I also mean you. You as the leader, you as the manager, or you as the owner. Is that fair? You ready to go on the journey? Okay, so put your hands up if you're a club owner, manager, leader, working for a supplier. Okay, guys, I just want to tell you that I really hope that you don't get to where I got. I've been in the industry now 29 years, and I really hope that you do not get the wake-up call that I needed to get. So I just want to give you a very, very short story, because I don't love talking about myself, but I think it's important. I've been in the industry 29 years, and after two of the biggest successes of my life, I felt the most empty, I felt overwhelmed, I felt truly exhausted, and I felt like nothing gave me any joy. How can that possibly be when it was after two of the biggest successes of my life, and on one of my fitness brands, we had won 14 awards in 12 months, and yet I felt empty. And what I want to say to you is I don't want you to get to where I got to, which was burnt out. Because burnout is a very scary thing when it happens, and it's a very tough thing to recover from. And I want to just share with you, right now, there could be people in your team that are now near burnout. And it's something that is going to give you high risk to the sustainability of your businesses. But I want to give you the good news. What I'm going to share with you today, and I'm talking from the heart now, I had to go back and I had to dig deep and I had to look at myself in the mirror. Now, I'm no oil painting, but when I did that process, it was super ugly. It's a really tough thing to stand back, look in the mirror, and understand the part that you play and whether you are successful or not. But I had to do that. And I had to dig deep and work on my resilient mindset, my resilient skill set, and my resilient tool set to get back to where I needed to go. Most importantly, before traditional success, I had to get back to being healthy. Because without our health, we have no wealth. Who thinks that's fair? Put your hands up. Who would also agree that we work really hard to deliver what we do? And I want to ask you, at what cost? So I want to give you some good news. I went back to school. I went and did some gym for the mind, working on mindset, skill set, and tool set, and I came back stronger. And my recent brand, Club Soulgenic, 12,000 square foot boutique club in Jersey, despite the pandemic, sold to the world's largest fitness franchise, Anytime Fitness, in 2020. one of the best things for me to experience. It's now the highest yielding club in the Anytime portfolio, or one of the highest yielding. And it's something that I'm intensely proud of, that could never have happened if I hadn't worked on me. Do I not deserve a little clap? That was a joke. So, I want you to think about you today. And I want to ask you this. Who here fancies going and jumping on the bus with me to Resilient Road? Or who fancies going to Stress Street? What are you going for, Constantinos? Resilient Road. You, George. Who else is up for Resilient Road? Awesome, not Stress Street, right? So I want to put this to you. Put your hands up if we're seeing bigger costs that scares us. Put your hands up if you're wearing different hats a lot of the time. Put your hands up if your workloads are high. Put your hands up if everything feels a bit more uncertain. Put your hands up if you need more sales. Put your hands up if you think you've got the challenge of staff recruitment and retention. Well, I want to bust your bubble. They're all external factors that when I meet you next year here, and I meet you the year after, and I meet you the year after, there will always be a list. There will always be external factors that you can sit and moan about that potentially you can't control, you cannot influence, so why are we giving it all of our attention? What I'm asking you to do right now is to shift the focus to you. How are you showing up in your clubs day in, day out towards the vision that you've got for your business? Because I'm going to put it to you today, and I want to challenge you that I believe that we can all increase our productivity by at least 20% by some of the things I want to take through with you today. Sound good? Who's ready to look in the mirror? Yeah? Thank you, guys. So, here's what I think the problem is. You're all out there looking at equipment, you're looking at software, you're looking at nutrition. We've got a bigger problem, guys, because your workforce right now are feeling the pinch. We're all working harder, we're trying harder, and for a lot of people, the batteries are slightly down. Now, you wouldn't do it to your iPhone. You wouldn't do it to your iPad. This is my 17-year-old son. Where's the charger? Oh no, my phone has no charge. Do you do that? Do you do that when your phone's about to die? But we do it to ourselves. So we are facing batteries that are nearly out of charge. The other thing is there's a questionable balance between work and life. The other thing that we've found since COVID is that some of your staff and their values don't potentially align to the values of your business. Have you actually investigated that? So what I want to say is, for a lot of people right now, the lights are on, but no one's home. You know what I mean by that? That is a big risk to your business. They are there, but they're not productive. So that is a problem. And I have got a potential solution. But before I do that, I just want to alert you to what I think is the bigger pandemic. That thing that we suffered a few years ago was not the real pandemic. This is the real pandemic, because we are in a stress pandemic. And I want you to think about you right now. Would you say that your stress on a daily basis is positive? Would you say it's tolerable? Or would you say it's toxic? Because if you feel that you are constantly perceiving that you're overwhelmed and that you're not coping, that is what I would call toxic stress. And it's a problem. And the talk after mine, when you hear from Ollie, I'm sure he's going to re-emphasize what I'm saying here. This is your big risk. We are in a stress pandemic. And I want you to think of the people in your team right now, because we all have a different size stress bucket. Some people have a huge bucket. Some people have a very shallow bucket. Constantinus has come to me at the photocopier and said, Glenda, before you go home, could you just do this? Oh, my goodness, you had to give me that. You're always asking me to do this. I just asked you to do one thing. Yeah, he did. But the problem is, Glenda was at the top of her stress bucket and it's now overflowing. How many people in your business right now are overflowing in their stress bucket? More importantly, as a leader or a manager, are you overflowing in your bucket? So, here's the solution, in my opinion. We have to start filling our own cup before you can fill everyone else's. Put your hands up if you have, and I want us all to be bravely honest. Put your hands up if you've suffered stress or perceptions of stress in the last few weeks. Put your hands up. Can you just have a look around the room? Thank you. Put your hands up if you regularly do some self-care for yourself. I'm no rocket scientist, but I think there's a lot less hands than when you said you were stressed. So we have to put ourselves first. We have to fill our bucket before you can fill your team's. And I want you to think about that when you leave here today. Are you genuinely practicing what you preach, looking after yourself, and putting you first? Because when you put yourself first, you will become a better leader, a better manager, a better father to your two boys, a better golfer. Sorry for that. He is a professional golfer, but he didn't play that well yesterday. Sorry, George. So I just want to ask, what does resilience mean to us in the fitness industry? Give me words. Give me a word. Bounce back. What does resilience mean to us? Anybody, give me some words. Well-being. Don't give up. Any others? I love it. Change your perception of stress. If I had a gold star, you would have got that. Amazing. Here's the thing. Resilience does mean different things to different people. But I just want to tell you what I think it is. It's absolutely a mindset, it's a skill set, and it's a tool set. And although I love what Ollie said there about bouncing back, resilience is so much more than just bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward better than you were before. Who's up for that? Who wants to be better than you were before? Amazing. The thing is, guys, we all had a huge trauma a few years ago, and we are a friggin' resilient sector. So give us a big clap for that. Come on, guys. The thing is, being resilient allows us to think healthy, to feel healthy, and to behave in a way that's healthy. So why do I think resilience is like fudge? Does anybody know how fudge was made? You do. You know I'm testing you now. Tell me. Oh, that's a bit posh. I mean the first ever batch of fudge. He's giving me the recipe here. I love that. How was fudge made? Does anybody know the very first time? Because they fudged it up. It was not meant to be fudge. And they fudged it up, and we got fudge. And they actually thought, that tastes quite nice. Happy days, we'll call it fudge. In Scotland, we say they fucked it up. Rob, am I allowed to swear? Already have, sorry. That's the only time I do that. But in all seriousness, the reason why I think resilience is like fudge is I want to ask you, do you allow your people in your businesses to fudge it up? Or have you got a culture of blame? Are you allowing your business to actually try things and be really innovative and go for it and then learn as you go And that's why I think resilience is like Fudge. I also think like Fudge, you have to be hard as a leader, but you also have to be soft. It's a fine balance. Hard enough that you've got strong boundaries. Soft enough that you're approachable. So I want you to think about you. And I want to share this with you. When you are thriving, when you are resilient, you thrive. When you are struggling, that's where we see mental illness. And I want you to do something that's really hard. But if you look around the room right now, there's 1 in 4 people suffering from a mental health challenge right now. That actually means on nearly every single table, we have someone that might be struggling. And we need to be aware of that as leaders. We are aiming for our teams to be resilient, where we're bold, we're collaborative, we're confident, and we're purposeful. And to do that, you need to work on building out your team's resilience. And I want to tell you this, but I said about the scary aspect of being burnt out. But you need to also be looking out in your teams for bore out. Bore out is as risky as burnout. You can see here in the performance curve that if you're bored or you're burnt out, your team will not be performing. They're not going to be in the optimum zone. They're not going to be in their flow state. They are going to be potentially in strain, in crisis, or what I told you at the beginning, the lights are on but nobody's in. Bored. If you've got someone in your team right now that's bored, it's a problem. If you've got someone in your team right now that's in burnout, it's a serious problem. Resilience is a buffer and protects us from bore out and burnout. So I want to ask you, I'm not going to read all of the words on the slide, but how well do you know your team? What you think is going on, what people see is not always what's going on. That little picture there, when I wear my trilby, that's when I'm at my best. So my mates are like, oh gosh, she's dangerous, she's got her trilby on. That's because that's when I'm really at my best. What you see is not always what is going on. And I want you to think about you as the leader here. So I want to introduce you very quickly to my resilience tree. We all love a tree, don't we? In the leadership books. It's so romantic, isn't it? If we grow the roots of the tree, if we work on the trunk. So I just needed to build a tree, which I did. So I'm going to talk to you about the roots, because I think the roots of resilience start with your mindset. I think that you are the stable trunk. I want to be working under Constantinus as a leader. Sorry for picking on you, but you get brownie points because you sat at the front. I want to work under Constantinus as a leader because he will give me stability as a stable trunk. But I also have to encourage my staff to work on the tools, which are the branches at the top of the tree. So I want to talk to you about mindset, and I want you to think about you and your team. You know what I'm getting you to do is to become aware. It starts with awareness. Because once you're aware and you look in the mirror, you set intention for attention. And the bit that I love is that you and I start getting bravely honest. Glenda, I didn't show up as my best because I don't feel confident because nobody taught me how to do that induction. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. However, Glenda, I know it's my responsibility, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and practice, and then I'm going to come back to you and ask about where the gaps are, because I'm taking total responsibility. So I want to ask you to look in the mirror right now. How aware are you of how healthy you are in your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior right now? If you know you're sabotaging yourself, we need to raise the awareness. Are you setting intention to give what needs to change attention, or are you ignoring it? Are you being bravely honest and taking responsibility for how you turn up as a leader, or how you turn up as a manager or an employee, because that's what I believe is the resilient mindset. So where are you? Are you basically unaware? Are you, I can't possibly do that? Or are you just going to wait and hope, do the same thing time and time again, expecting a different result? Or are you going to start owning it? Find solutions. Make it happen. Because what I'm asking you to do is come with me and move from being powerless to powerful. Who thinks powerful is a good place to get to? You feel in control. Your perceptions of stress completely change. And I want to remind you that your perception becomes your reality. End of. So if you perceive that the world is shit and everybody's doing it on you and you're perfect and it's everybody else's fault, that's your reality. Where's that going to get you? Food for thought, right? So, we need the stable trunk. This is a skill set. So I'm just going to be very quick on this one. Are you building a culture of coaching or a culture of blame? Are you doing do as I say, guys, not as I do? Yeah, I really believe in well-being, but I'm sending you emails at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm not taking a break, and I'm walking around the business completely stressed out, but I'm expecting everybody else to be calm. Put your hands up if you buy into a calm leader. You don't buy into a flapper. You are the stable trunk. Without your stability, you will not build a resilient team. So now, who here wants 6 tools that can build resilience in you and your teams? You ready? Have we got time? Okay, are we ready? Number 1. How would you rate your zest as a leader? Is it draining the team or is it sustaining the team? Your energy. When I come in here, if I came in, oh, hi, George. Oh, thanks for coming. You get it? So, zest is critical. Get back up. 5 squats. Let's do it. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. 5 squats. Let's do it. Energy. Where movement goes, energy flows. Look, you're smiling. This is great. So, guys, I'm going to be really harsh on you here. How many club owners I see that do not exercise? I know I'm picking on them a lot today, but not everybody can look like Constantinus. I mean, you're doing well, Constantinus. But doesn't mean that you don't practice what you preach. I'm getting on a bit, but I still practice what I preach, right? So, here's some good advice. Take movement breaks regularly. Do walking meetings. They're amazing. They are a whole different serotonin chemical that goes on when you walk with your team. Allow and encourage clear boundaries. Sorry, but I do not work on a Sunday. Do it in your interview. If it's you with your team or your boss, set clear boundaries. Reduce expectations of working in stupid hours. Because it works for you doesn't mean it works for everyone else. You're the owner. You have people in your team that just want to come to work 9 to 5. Do their job and go home. They don't all appreciate being emailed at 3 o'clock in the morning. And role model the prioritization of well-being. Guys, your club will not burn down when I go for a workout. True? It's always there when you get back. True? Take a break, have a Kit Kat. Do you like that? My son's 17, didn't even get the joke. I was like, you don't get that? But I'm showing my age, right? The people that are older get that joke, don't they? Take a break, take a Kit Kat. Cool. Don't need to explain that, do I? Okay, the second one. Absolutely critical. When I was a young manager, I thought this was a load of rubbish. Values, vision, what's that rubbish? Actually, it's so critically important. So I want you to think about your business right now. Gary, does your business know what your vision is? Do you talk about it regularly? And do you share the values of your team? And make sure that they buy into that. We value authenticity, we value trust, and we value hard work. If they then don't do it, you can have a much better conversation, right? So, are you clear that your people understand your vision? Because if you don't, and you can't say that you're sure, there's work to do. So I just want to give you some top tips. Give your job roles meaning and purpose. Know their individual why. This guy likes to go home to his family. He wants an extra hour off. This guy here is buying a house. He wants more money. This guy over here loves golf. He needs a few lessons. I'll purchase a couple for you. Know what makes them tick and try and buy into their why. Yeah? Set clear values-based goals, not just KPIs. Yeah? Next one. Probably the one that needs the most work. Do you believe in you? Or are you your biggest hurdle? Are you your biggest hurdle? Are you the person that's sabotaging all your good work? What's getting in the way? I want to say this to you guys. Are you going to live your fear or are you going to live your life? Interesting. Are you going to live your fear or are you going to live your life? So here's a few tips. Understand limiting beliefs in your teams and find out what's going on and get to the bottom of them. Support your people to reframe what's holding them back to help build their confidence. Now, this is my bear bug. Appraisals, we're crap at them. I'm going to spend 5 minutes telling Ollie everything that's good, and then I'm going to spend an hour and 25 minutes that's left telling everything that he sucks at. If you follow the researcher Nimiak and Ollie's work, he will tell you that the way to build people's capacity and get your performance going through the roof is to notice strengths and capitalize on them and do a bit less work on weaknesses, funnily. Still work on them, but capitalize the strengths. Do you really know what the strengths are in your team? Invest time with every single member of staff. And when you say something is good, please tell them why it's good. You know, the way you handled that customer, your calmness was incredible. When that conflict came, your ability to come up with other options was off the charts. Well done. Be specific. Build their confidence and you will build their performance. Self-belief is absolutely critical to resilience. The next one. How many of you have got BMWs in the business? Bitches, whingers, moaners. Who's got them? The BMWs. Because they're a problem. Because it spreads like disease. And I want to just say to you, this is not boring. This is quite cool, actually. Our brains are wired for negativity. So when I came in here, I looked at you thinking, are you going to eat me? Are you a threat to me? Oh, you might not like me. Or you might think my talk is rubbish. That's what we do. We're pre-wired in our brains for prehistoric time. And we don't live there anymore. We don't need to worry about being eaten, so we have to come off fight or flight. Ollie's going to talk to you about that. So we need to focus on the good. We need to rewire the brain for positivity. I'm sorry, guys. I've been a club owner my entire career, and we are not good at this. We come in panicking. Oh, we've only done 10 sales. Oh, no. You get to reception. That doesn't look good. What are you doing about that? We just sometimes berate people forgetting what's amazing. Remember, they buy a calm leader. They want you to be the stable trunk, and we can build these people up. Johnny, thank you for having the reception looking tip-top today. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for making sure today that you wore the right uniform. I really, really appreciate that you took notice of that. I know you're late, but it's definitely improving. Let's keep working on it. Yeah? Let's scan for the good. Here's some little tips. When you see something, take it in and hold on to it. 30 seconds plus will rewire 4 areas of your brain that I could show you on an MRI scan change after 8 weeks of scanning for the good. Start all meetings with 3 highlights. What's the top thing that's happened in this business in the last week that you're really happy about? Whatever. No, I'm joking. Give me a highlight. Give me a highlight. Let's start these meetings with highlights. What we tend to do is start our meetings and finish our meetings with everything that sucks about our business. We need to rewire for positivity, guys. Avoid negativity. I'm sorry to say it, but if you've got BMWs, you have to performance manage it. And if it doesn't work, you have to show them the door. But you have to performance manage. And we sometimes struggle with that in owner businesses with lack of process. The processes will support you to accelerate poor behavior that is going to drain people's resilience. The number one drain on resilience is relationships at work. Okay, nearly there. How connected do you feel to your team? Connection is absolutely critical to resilience. If I had to go and ask your people, do you feel safe in Ollie's care? Can they honestly say they feel psychologically safe with Ollie as their leader? Because if they think Ollie's going to eat you, they're not going to perform. So you need to go and consider after today, are you on a blame culture or are you on a performance culture? So a few little tips. Aim to build psychological safety with the team. Respect people. Allow them to be vulnerable. I don't know the answer to that, and I know I own this business, but I'm going to go away and try my best to find out. You can be vulnerable and still be respected. Guys, we've lost so much fun in our lives. You remember when we were kids, we just used to laugh all day and do crazy shit? We need to get back to some crazy shit. We have to have more fun while we work. Who wants more fun in their life? Okay, let's get up. 5 more squats. I've made you do 15 today. This is good. Come on. 5 more squats. They're loving it. They're fitness gooks. Rob, how long have I got? How long have I got? 2 minutes left? Okay, cool. Good idea. Rob, how long have I got left? Oh, perfect. Burpees. Come on. Oh, damn. I was liking that. Guys, communication drains people's resilience. So it's something you need to think about. I know it's very, very difficult, but when we get connection and we build trust, communication is the gateway to psychological safety at work. Yeah? I'm nearly there. This one I love. If I'm allowed a favourite, what I see when I work with people one-to-one on this is that self-belief is the biggest area for development in most people. They don't believe in themselves. So, okay, last one. You've all heard of the 6 ways to well-being. If you haven't, there's your homework, because this is not my wisdom. The 6 ways to well-being is a national, what would you call it, Ollie, initiative to get well-being into the world of work. So here's the 6 ways to well-being. And I do want to see hands go up or not. Can you say that you promote in your environment, in your culture right now, people working on their body, being active? Put your hands up. Gary, what do you do to get people being active, as in the team? You allow them to have a workout, things like that? Is that what you mean? Is it not Gary? Have I got your name wrong? Yeah. Alex. Why did I call you Gary? That's the menopausal brain fog. And that was the brave honesty. and taking the total responsibility. Do you see that resilient mindset? I'll just own my menopausal brain fog. Alex, what do you do for the team to allow them to be active? Love it, yeah. I know people who have been in health clubs and they don't get a free membership. I mean, come on. That's a bit bonkers. So what do you do to get people active? Second one, do you actively get people to do gym for the mind? I'm going to give you a signpost because it's amazing. If you follow Grant Cardone, he made millions, hundreds of millions of pounds of building an academy for sales where every single person that's part of his academy, everywhere in the world, have to practice sales technique 10 minutes every day at work with their manager. Who thinks here that our sales process would improve if we did something like that? Because you need to practice to be good. And our sales sometimes is not good enough. So actually, how do we practice gym for the mind? Do you actually encourage people to come into your business? People like me, guest speakers. There's lots of free speakers out there that will come in from places like Mind to talk about mental health, to talk about positive psychology. Are you training the minds of your people? The next one, put your hands up if you allow people in your business to connect. Do you have regular social events? I want to go a bit further. Can you give me your hands up if you have people with, when they come into your business, do they get a mentor? Put your hands up. Have a look around the room right now. There's not many. So that's a takeaway. You're new to my business. I'd like to give you a mentor. You'll be pleased to know it's not me. But I'll give you him. He's all right. Mentoring will take your business and up its productivity by the fact that you give someone else that can help support that person when they're a new member of staff. Connection is critical. Put your hands up if your business is great at taking notice of everything. Like what Craig Campbell said today about understanding that the small details count. Do you take notice in your business? What do you do in your business to show that you all care? Do you do charity work? I know that Anytime, for example, do huge amounts on giving to the community. I do think we do not do enough of that in this industry. Your new members are outside the walls of your club. There should be no walls. What do you do to get the community to understand that you care? And once you show that you care, they will want to buy from you. Yeah? And the last one, what do you do to give? That's what we call the 6 ways to well-being. So I just want to finish by my final tips. Please be on the lookout for early warning signs of poor physical and mental health. I just want to give a few examples. You are always training at 6 a.m, 3 times a week, and all of a sudden, everybody's telling me you're never there. Warning sign, potentially. You always go to the social events because you're Mr. Socialite. Nobody told me that, by the way. But you don't go anymore. You're always very vocal in meetings, and now you never speak, and you're rolling your eyes, and you're huffing, and being a bit of a BMW. Do you get what I'm saying? Let's start becoming a feelings detective and really, really see if you can dig a bit deeper of what's going on for you in your teams. You have to now start approaching these conversations with confidence. Have well-being conversations, not just conversations that are superficial. Oh, are you okay? And then walk away, not even listening to the answer. How's things going for you? How's your sleep been recently? All good? Been getting much exercise, Ollie? I know you really liked that course that you did with Glenda. Have you been doing any more on mindset work? Some deeper conversations, approaching well-being with confidence. Is everything okay at home? Now, you need psychological safety for that, but we hope that you've built that. And it's really critical because of our challenges with the stress epidemic and mental health that you've got proper signposting in your business. Who can support your business for people who are struggling with their mental health? There are many charities in every city in the UK. For example, Mind, and you should have all that signposting there, not just for your teams, but also your members. So, finally, I want you to think about the resilient mindset. Put your hands up if I've even managed to get you to be a wee bit more aware of where you're at right now. Get in. Because I promise you this, when you go away tonight, over the next 2 days, there'll be something that will drop for you. This content meets you where you're at. And when it shows up, I'm asking you to set some intention to give it attention. I just want to say to you with a health warning, when you start to be bravely honest, just be careful. Because sometimes people are not ready for complete brave honesty. So just be careful what you say to people. But I'm asking you to be bravely honest and take total responsibility for the leader that you want to be and for the business that you want to build. We know there will always be those external factors, but you need to think about what can you control, what can you influence, and everything that's outside the sphere of that circle, that's the zero F-bomb territory. It's a bit of practice, but it's really, really empowering. When you can, in the spirit of Buddhism, you can sit in it and let it be. Maybe not let it go, but at least let it be. I can't control it. I can't influence it. It's not going to be too helpful giving it all my energy. Let it be. And I just want you to consider you as the leader. Are you the stable trunk right now? Or is your business on rocky foundations? Because I'm telling you now, you can buy the best kit in the world, you can have the best software, you can have the best looking facility, but if your leadership is not stable, you are not going to have a business that you will be proud about, and it's not going to be the business that you aspire to having. Finally, the 6 branches of resilience. If you would like to know more about that, the new book, sorry Rob, I don't normally plug it, and you know I don't, but I'm passionate about it. There's 52 techniques, one for every week of the year. It's a book, a journal, and a course, all in one. It's a nice little size because you can put it in your gym bag or you can put it in the glove compartment of your car. And I'm asking you to go on a little bit of a journey. You can pick it up, drop it, but try and start bringing some of the practices into your life. So the last thing I want to do is I want you to close your eyes. I won't draw on you. Sorry, Alex, that I called you Gary. I know. I'm being honest here, but I'm taking responsibility for being a twerp. Close your eyes. What do you see when you look at the picture of, imagine you're holding up a mirror. What do you see in the mirror? Do you see that I'm successful, I'm powerful, I've got this, I accept myself, I'm strong, and importantly, I can do this? You can open your eyes. I really hope that you will think about what I've talked through with you. Becoming resilient as Fudge has been absolutely life-changing for me. I know that Rob, George, lots of people who are close to me have heard my story. I was an unhappy entrepreneur. I am now a very, I was going to say lazy one, but I'm a very content one. And we all deserve peace in our lives. So I hope that you're going to consider when you leave here today that people are your number one resource. Make it count and become resilient as Fudge. Thank you. Rob's asking if people have got questions. The only thing I would say, I'm more than happy to do that, and I will be hanging around. I would suggest that questions happen before about 8:30 if you want a sensible answer. However, I'm not really a drinker, to be fair. But I'll have switched off to do my self-care, though. This is a very, very emotive subject, and it can trigger lots of things for people. So a lot of people ask me questions, but they don't want to do it in a big group. So I am totally happy because I'll be around. But if anybody's got any quick questions, I would love even one, if someone's got one. Anybody? Don't worry if you've not, but I'm happy to take one, Rob, if people have. I know it's quite a big topic. Anybody got a question or even an observation or anything that they would like to say? Happy if you don't, but I am going to be here. Go for it, Alex. I absolutely love that question. Alex asked, what's the first thing I would do to become more resilient? It has to start with the foundational blocks of resilience, which is energy. Go away and assess the energy of your team. If you have not got people firing on all cylinders, 4 aspects of energy, here's the thing you can assess. Sleep, boundaries, healthy consumption, and physical activity. They're the 4 foundational blocks of resilience. And it's crazy because our mental health is getting worse because we think our way out of thinking, where sometimes we just have to damn move. Are you going to be selling that story? Love it, Ollie. Honestly, go and assess the 4 cornerstones of energy. If that is not good, you've got problems. If people are not sleeping, it's torture. They will not perform. If their physical activity is down, you start overthinking and you get all the rumination. You get more negative and you get a lot more rumination. If you're not eating right, I mean, this makes me laugh. We all want to be a Formula 1 sports car, do we not? So why do we eat like we're a Skoda? Honestly, if you're the owner or the manager and you're sitting there with a pasty, I'm going to question that. Would you, Ollie? You get out what you put in.